WNS radio show. We don't die, we multiply.
I want to get to a lot of the youth in the hood.
Oh, that's hard, man. I try that a lot.
Yeah.
Some you got to learn to know the difference between those who can't get out the hood and those who don't want to get out the hood. And it's hard because the ones who just can't get out the hood but want to, they have to portray themselves as someone who doesn't want to leave the hood.
Right.
And it took a lot for me to break that slavery mentality.
What do you mean? Like what?
Born and raised in Inglewood as I am. Always.
No, but I'm saying like people who don't want to leave. You were saying the difference between people who don't want to leave the hood and people who can't. I don't understand. Like, what do you mean?
Let's take my own personal self.
Uh-huh.
I'm a person who wants to leave the hood.
Right.
Around the hood, fellas, the hooligans, your buddies, you basically want to show the same alpha male mentality as them. Like, this is my hood. I don't want to leave. This is my hood. I ain't going nowhere.
Right.
But deep down inside, you want to do better and be a man and do manly things. And you can't do that in the hood, but you still can't portray that inferior mentality towards your homies, because in the streets, you might be liable to get robbed or smoked, or you don't know what might happen. So you got to continue to be the alpha. So you can't really shine, and sometimes you just have to just stray away. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier about, is it the neighborhood? Yes, it is the neighborhood, because once you try to better yourself and not be the one who wants to always be the hood person, they try to bring you back.
Right.
So that's what I meant by that. You got two different types.
Right. I see what you mean. I know what that's like. You know, it comes a time where either you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, or you don't wait to get to that point and you realize that that's not serving you in any way. You know, basically
Absolutely.
It's taking you down. And then when you realize it's taking you down, the next thing that you discover is that, why am I allowing that? You know, I start to look at myself. Why am I doing that? You know? And then it goes back to what we were just talking about, loving yourself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? When you love yourself, then all that changes. You know what I mean? All that changes and you think different. And when you think different, then next thing you know, you find yourself somewhere else with somebody else.
Exactly.
You know?
On a whole different wavelength, whole different plan, new area, new feelings, new sensation, new desires. Everything in life is about loving yourself. You can't love another person until you figure out and love yourself. That's just how it goes. That's how you become great.
I agree, you know. And I like to see a lot of women do that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'd like to see in particular, I like to see our black women do that. I particularly like to see our black women do that.
I like to see more natural. That's how I know they'll start changing.
Right. It's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff will change when the love of self.
Absolutely.
You know, the love of self. You know what I'm saying? That's changes a lot, because, you know, this is what I think. Check this out. And I thought about this after years of being at the shop, seeing thousands of people, literally. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Talking to different people, seeing different situations. I think it's like this. I think that if black women, and this is not an absolute statement because everybody's different, but generally speaking, if the black women have more self-love, focused on that self-love, then they wouldn't accept a lot of things that they accept from us. And I'm gonna include myself because I done been effed up before too.
We all have.
So what I'm saying is that if they want a man, a black man who is intelligent or thinks or is a thinker, or just not, not complacent, not lazy, or if they want a black man who is about something as far as like being ambitious and having some type of higher moral standard than the average normal, what we call normal people, then guess what's going to happen? Men being men, wanting what they want from women at an animal nature, are going to do the things that's going to attract those women. So the things that are going to, if that's what's on those women's mind, if that's what attracts them, is what I mean, those qualities I mentioned earlier, then the guys are going to adopt those qualities to attract those women. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not blaming or pointing a finger at the women, but I'm just, presenting one thing, which would work both ways. Not saying that black men don't, anybody, it's not just black and non-black, but anybody, the love of self, but I'm talking particular about us.
That would stop a lot of the world's problems right now.
It would.
We would think outside the box. As you mentioned, if the black or any woman started loving herself and putting herself on a pedestal,
right,
that would elevate the man.
I'm saying,
to come and accomplish and conquer this actual task that he needs to, which is manning the fuck up.
Right.
Hell, I would like us to go back to being the 1920 brothers and sisters that we was. I love suits, man. Clean cut.
And into literature.
And jazz.
And
they have multi-talents, and they held the door. I don't even
great
see...
thinkers came out of there, too, and big financial guys, like bankers and stuff out of Harlem.
Yeah. I don't even see brothers holding doors open for women anymore, or pulling out chairs.
No.
Like, my mom used to smack...
Why do you think that is now?
Generational curse, man.
You know what some girl told me? She said that guys don't approach them anymore. She was like, yeah, dudes just don't approach girls anymore.
I don't know. As a man myself, I barely approach women. I'll be honest on that.
Why?
I don't want to deal with the bullshit after I'm single. So it's like, if something happens or a great conversation, like with me and my girl, we had a great convo. We've only been together a little over a month, and we kicked off, but I wasn't, running up trying to talk to a girl, because it's like shooting craps. Unless you a real good dice handler, you don't really know what you gonna really shoot out.
You mean as far as meeting
a girl? I've dated many different signs,
right? And
they all pretty much don't love themselves and turn out to be cuckoo crazy. Not to say that I'm a good guy myself.
You're a good guy.
I try to be.
Yeah, you try to be.
But on the other hand, some people go cuckoo. Some people don't go cuckoo, and some people can stay dedicated. Some people just deserve to be single, and you don't really know what you dealing with, because everybody's an actor nowadays.
That's what I'm getting at.
You got to wait until you in your ninth. Sometimes not even in the months. You gotta wait 2 years to find out who the real person is. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. This is what I saw too over time, is that usually the guy and the girl, usually is both at the same time, are being something that they think the other person wants them to be when they first meet. And then after, like you say, 9 months or however long, when they get comfortable with each other enough, then they relax to themselves, who they were anyway. And then you hear stuff like, Chris, I don't even know who you are. Like, who are you? I don't even know you. And that's because they don't, because he wasn't being himself, or vice versa. He's like, you doing this now? Like, when did you start this? And it's because she was being something he thought, and he was being something she thought they wanted each other to be. But what you're saying, like, if people could just be themselves, and but it's not just about only just being yourself. That's good, because some people can just be themselves and they're happy with their own skin, and they don't act and presto changeo differently when they meet somebody, But more than just being yourself, it's about being something that you want. You know what I mean? You be what you want. Like you do what you want somebody to do to you.
Very well said.
You know what I'm saying?
Very well said.
And
I like that.
and because of that, I've called females and been like, you know what, man, I'm just gonna call and just like, I'm not gonna ghost her, or I'm not gonna like have her on a string. I know I don't want to really do nothing with her. You know, at this point in the game, you know, I'm not trying to just do no silly stuff. You know, I want somebody serious and like somebody that's has good intentions, you know. And so I'm like, I'm not gonna do this to her like this. Let me just go ahead and buck up, be a man, and say this is not really what I'm looking for.
And it's
You know what I'm
hard,
saying?
man. That's a hard thing to do. I give you much respect because a lot of people can't do that nowadays.
Yeah.
They'll keep stringing you
Stringing
along just because they like one thing about
Right.
you, and they'll get what they need.
It's convenient.
Good word.
convenient.
It's convenient.
That's the internet, man.
Yeah, that's poison.
I know.
Facebook, all that, man.
shit. It's the internet.
Yeah.
It's the internet, because you on the internet, people are now just swipeable. Like you're gone, bloop, swipe, next person.
Next
You know?
on to the next person.
And I don't think people are really understanding psychologically.
It's not personal anymore. It's
Yeah,
just
it's not.
it goes
personal.
back to what I said. You're in the matrix. It's just uniform. It's how you're expected to act.
Right.
And you gotta think outside the box, man. And that goes with loving yourself and figuring out what you want and staying true to it. Like you said, if you're able to let somebody go like that, nowadays we call you a bitch for that.
I know, and I felt like a bitch when I was doing it.
But you not. That means you a real man, though.
I was like, man, why am I acting so fucking sentimental and shit? Like, who really gives a fuck?
Social media and society has trained us to feel like you should be a bitch because of that.
Yeah.
You not supposed to cry no more as a man if your uncle dies. I don't care. My uncle just died. I
Right.
cried.
Yeah.
My auntie died. I cry. Anybody I know I love died. I cry. But now in society, social media is frowned upon.
Right.
And then the crazy shit is, it's okay to snitch now.
Yeah.
I can't cry as a man, but I'm supposed to be a tattletale. Man, if you don't get out of here with that,
I know.
everything's just so backwards now.
Yeah, I know. It's backwards, man. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I just wish that I don't know. If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk.
Man. I'll drink to that.
You know? But no, yeah, I think that the reason why I think about that, because it seems like it's right there in our grasp for people to get it right. You know what I mean? Especially our folks. It's right there. It's like, you know, we have so much talent and so much creativity and so much drive and just all kind of stuff. And it's just a little tiny tweak keeping people from getting the things that they want. You know, and it's the stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little just love yourself. And like, don't just love yourself on one instant after you realize, I don't know, maybe something happened and you're on thinking for a minute and it's that evening and you were like, I got it for that evening. That's great start, but this is a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? This is a waking every day, looking inside of you like, okay, why did I say that? Or why am I thinking like that? You know, why do I keep having this kind of thought every day? You know, like, why do I keep thinking like this negative shit? Or why do I keep going, or why am I looking at this person in this way? Or why do I keep repeating the same pattern and just string this woman on when I know what she wants, and I know I'm not with it, but I keep entertaining the, you know, I guess her desire by, you know, a little communication, a little bit, and back off a little bit. You know, I know that shit ain't right.
Nah.
It's not right, man. You know, because if I didn't know, I mean, you know if a girl really wants something and she might not really be saying it, you know, but, you know, you kind of just playing it a little bit because, you know, she might be attractive and, you know, every now and then you guys, you know, go have dinner or whatever you do. And then you're not really, you know, she's hoping that this is, you know, it's going down. This is it. You know, we're linking up. And then you're not really even thinking about that. You're just kind of like, it's convenient.
Yeah.
And so it's hard. It was hard for me to do that.
Well, it sounds like you're starting to love yourself more.
I am, because there's always room. You know?
Yeah.
There's always room. And I'm not gonna lie, man. I was like, why in the hell am I doing this? Like, and then, I'm like, blah, blah, blah. But really though, I thought, why am I doing this for a little bit? But really, it didn't last long, because I was like, I would want somebody to do that for me. And I do a lot of shit like that, D. I do a lot of shit like that for years, and then sometimes I feel like, the good guy loses.
We do.
You know what I'm saying? Because I do good shit.
I hate to tell you,
that I
man.
wish people would do, but they don't. They don't. And then I'm like, I know. That's why that shirt, normal people scare me. That's what I'm saying. It's like, even like with the business, man, I gave him a business. I gave it to him. I gave him a business. It's still there. I gave it to him. I sat there and thought to myself, like, you know what, man, I'm gonna do this. Because imagine if it was me. Imagine if somebody gave you a business of something you were already in, industry-wise, and they gave it to you. Wouldn't that be a blessing?
I'd be a blessing, because
And
I'd
look,
be
and I
rich.
did it, and I, right.
And I'd be rich. I'm sorry.
Right. Oh, yeah. Right. And and I did it, and that's just an example of other stuff too. And then, time passes, and I get to reflecting, and I start feeling like, man, am I just getting walked over? Like kindness for weakness. And then then there's that thing, and then for me, it's like, okay, if I start thinking like, if I go down that road of like kindness for weakness, I gotta watch that, because that takes me back down to the places that I came out of. That's not cool. The stuff we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
About the destructive part.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm an Aries ruled by Mars, which is war.
Yeah.
So I could easily click back into general war mode, and I can get into it.
That's what we don't want to do.
No, because it goes down and it's nothing.
It's nothing.
But I don't want to go there. I'm not even really trying to think about that shit. It's not even an issue like that, but it's just, I'm just saying I start to think that way, when you do the kindness for weakness, because people are so thirsty and small-minded. They see they think they're getting over sometimes, or they think they're coming up off of you, or they think they have an upper hand or some type of moral higher ground, or they, the whole pat you on your head like, oh, he's, I'm in control, or whatever the case is, because you're being kind or you're doing stuff like this. And it's like, you don't want to even start to think like, man, these people don't even know what's really I could do, or how I could really, I'm being nice, But so I stay off of that. I stay off of that part, because I just believe that the nice route for me, you know what I'm saying, it works out. It works out.
It does work out in the long game.
I might not know the math, how it works out, but it does, because when I connect the dots, if I didn't give dude the business, I could see, I see time pass how that played out, and you can look backwards, seeing how the dots connect easier.
Yeah.
So I see it, I see it, but when you're in it, you know what I mean? When you're in it, it's kind of like, it's uncomfortable.
And you don't understand it.
Nah.
Man, I know how you feel, man. There's a lot of people who I had to actually eliminate out of my life because they were taking my kindness for weakness. And it's not my weakness, it's your weakness, because you still need me. And I'm just a good type of person that's trying to help you build something and establish something. Because when you down and broke, you don't want to leave your homies. You want to rise together with your homies, your family, your friend, your girl, whoever you have around.
Right.
And you don't want to, as we mentioned earlier, become all Hollywood and leave the homies, because then the next thing, niggas want handouts.
Right.
And it's like, hey, I worked hard for this. I tried to bring you with me. So I see where you coming from on that. And don't feel bad. Yes, good guys do finish last. Unfortunately, we do. Even if you is the evil thug, gang member, drug dealer, spectacular pimp, Casanova nigga, you still gonna finish last, because you still got the heart of a good guy. And I'm sorry, man. I'm finishing last too. but I'm enjoying this ride to the top. And anybody who stayed true during my ride is gonna rise with me, and that's how that's just gonna go. So for those who backstab you, let them have what they got out of it. God bless you and move on.
Well, you know, that's why I don't think I finished last, because my dad told me this one time. Like, just say for an example, somebody owes you $100.
Shit, I got a lot of them.
Okay. Well, then look at it this way. You just paid $100 to get rid of a problem,
I like that.
right?
I like that, because
So-
the show is gone, and that was an easy solution the
Right.
way you put
See
it.
what I mean? So a little bit of crumbs that people get, they nibble at your energy. You know, that's why I don't feel like I'm last. I feel like I'm a beacon of light.
Yes, you are the light.
You know, I feel like I'm a bright, shining light bulb, and people want the light, and they don't contribute to it. That's the part that, you know, they don't reflect back, because they're darkness, and darkness absorbs light. You know, if they're light, it would reflect, it would resonate, and it would be a brighter light between the two. That's
True.
physics. Think about it.
I resonate.
Yeah.
I sun gaze now every now and then.
Oh,
Have
you
you
do?
ever tried that?
A little bit. I don't want to go blind.
Ah, man.
I do, but I do, because I know about having the direct sunlight
So
into your eye for a little bit.
I went to bring my best friend to New Mexico, and it's so beautiful out there, man. It's such clear view,
Oh, I know. At night you can see the Milky Way.
everything. And one day I decided to do as my son said and just stare into the sun. And when I tell you I was so filled with energy, I didn't even eat food that day. My best friend forced me to eat some food because I went almost 24 hours
Really?
without food. Yeah, man, I was filled.
Wow.
And I had so many thoughts racing in the beginning, but yet my mind was at ease. And every now and then I try to sun gaze. I don't like LA.
During the day?
Yeah, man.
I mean, during the day. No, sun gaze at night.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I meant. So I mean, but not during the day. What I meant was during high sun.
I've done it during high and low.
Okay.
Out there, it's so polluted out here, I didn't really care for it too much. Every now and then I try to gaze, but the gaze is I don't know how to
You
describe
think
it.
the
If
light
was-
is refracted by something
I think
in
it's
the air?
toxic.
Toxic is refracting the light.
Yeah, because when I was out there in New Mexico,
That's a lot clearer air.
and it was more intense.
Yeah, the sun is different.
Yeah, and it was real low upon me at its highest point. So I don't know, man. Everybody's afraid of the light. I was taught all my life not to stare at the sun, and
Yeah, they tell you go blind if you stare at the
I
sun.
can still see.
I know.
I'm looking at you.
Right.
And my brother does it. My son does it. Every
I've
now
done
and
it.
then.
I do it a little bit because just natural instinct. I don't know why. I've always, since I was a kid, I've always liked to just peek directly at the sun for a little bit, for some reason, because of the feeling it gives me.
Yeah.
Even before I learned what's it called?
Sun gazing.
Sun gazing is.
Yeah, I had to do Boy Scouts. I was forced into that. Troop 734, shout out.
Oh wait, speaking of Boy Scouts, check this out, man. Check this out. The Boy Scouts, right? You ever go back and think about the motto?
Nah.
Or the oath? Listen, I'm gonna say it to you and think about it now as an
Okay.
adult. On my honor, I'll do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law. And the Scout law is I'm thrifty, helpful, kind, courteous.
Yeah.
Obey the Scout law. Help other people at all times. To keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
That's
That's
deep.
That's deep.
As an adult,
That's a deep
Yeah.
one. To live up to that.
to live up to that sounds like the standard that I'm trying to put myself in right now.
I have been. I
Yeah,
thought about that
man.
some years ago, you know. I have been. But at the same time, you know, I'm going to tell you this too. There's something called Gavora. Gavora is one of the 10 Sifrits. It's a dimension. It's also expressed as an emotion and feeling in us. And the emotion and feeling that's expressed in us is like a lot of different things, but basically it's like power, aggression, push. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's the right? It can be
Okay.
Gavora. So part of things that, and this is what I realized too about why I don't think I lose doing nice things to people, is because I understand the concept of Gavora. Gavora means sometimes you gotta It's part of it too. Like it's not all marshmallow flowers being nice. You know what I'm saying? Gavora is part of it. Sometimes you gotta, I can't be specific, but there's gotta be that part, that part. It's not all, everything's nice here. I'm gonna do every single thing.
Sometimes you gotta put it into it and and kind of stand up.
Whatever the detail is, that the Gavora, the balance of that.
Okay, put some force,
Also judgment, it means, like you gotta draw a line, So my thing is always finding that balance, because I've always been so growing up, man, I grew up in LA, in the hood, in the 80s, just like the movie Colors. I was out, man. And looking back, I realized, like, wow, that's really how, not literally like the movie, but pretty much.
Pretty damn close.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, man, if I tell stories, I might have PTSD. I mean, I don't know.
I sometimes do,
I hear backfires on cars, and the first thing I do is duck.
I feel you.
Even today, and I'm like, why am I ducking? Like I'm over here in Dominican Republic or something, and I'm ducking from But anyway, so it's about a balance for me, because I don't want to snap and be that dude again, So
you gotta have balance. You have to have release.
Gavora is a good thing to you gotta include in your thoughts, in your heart, in your mind. What you do, you gotta include Gavora, because it's balance. It's a balance. We need to get into that next time. About the it's about the esoteric mysticism.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah, because it's very interesting. It's a lot of stuff that applies to a lot of stuff. I mean, it's just like general concepts that apply to every area in your life. It's really interesting. Like the example, like the Gavora, but it balances with something the opposite of it. So you can't be all, saintly, so to speak,
without being a little demony.
That's the thing. It's not a demony thing. It's just that other side. It's just the, what does it take for you to pick up this boulder and throw it? You gotta go, you know what I'm saying? It's the aggression.
I know exactly what you're saying. It's that little that you need,
which is not always negative. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but
the place where you draw your power. Where sometimes smiles and hugs ain't gonna work. Right. I get you on that. Yeah. I'm gonna have to look that up. That sounds pretty interesting.
But it's interesting because you try to figure out how to apply it without being like banging on somebody, or without like being mean-spirited, So it's like it's kind of like the definition of shrewd, not rude. You know what I mean? Like when I had my place, I was very shrewd, but I don't mean nothing negative by it. I just have to have this like this. I don't have time for conversation about it. This is this. I love you guys, but that's it. That like that. You know what I mean?
These are the rules. This is the structure.
Right.
The foundation.
Right.
I get you.
I'm not yelling at you. I'm letting you know that this is the foundation, and it's a hard line. So that's one thing. That's always a work in progress, because man, I got banging on somebody in a heartbeat.
I try to always be the light and shine with positive attitudes, which, as you know, knowing me as a child, I was total opposite.
Right.
I've gotten my life together, but sometimes you got to bring out that little, just so people know, or just so everything is situated in its right way. It's very hard.